I think there's just certain people out there who are cut out for that kind of world. There are things that get said off camera that you might be saying like to your boys or to friends. Were people lying on that stage saying that you called Hannah names about her looks?
Yes and no. I never called her a grenade.
Okay.
I never called someone a grenade. I did tell Ramses and Garrett off camera in guy talk.
Right.
That
to protect probably yourself, because that would be humiliating to say that on camera.
I would never do that, right? You know, and that's not why I was there. It's love is blind. We had a deep connection in the pods. Can that continue? So I have to say I was a little underwhelmed by how she looked. But at that point, you know, this was before we went to Mexico. We had such a crazy connection. I'm like, look, dating hasn't worked in the past. Like this could really work. And so that's guy talk, just off camera. It's not meant to be repeated.
Do you think she was underwhelmed?
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Look, Nick just did a video talking about his response with the whole grenade situation. And he blatantly tells us that he did not say the grenade and calls out Stefan for lying. So he's vehemently denying that he called him a grenade. And like I said, Ramses never actually said that he heard that word. He knew that obviously he was underwhelmed, yes, but never ever called it a grenade. And this is why I went back to the very conversation about Ramses and Stefan for being Ramses, first of all, for saying he was under pressure, acting like he had a whole world on his shoulders. It was just a woman. And then Stefan for coming out and lying just to save his own skin. Diabolical behavior. You know what I'm saying to you? Diabolical behavior. So in that case, for me personally, I don't rate the kind of behavior that these man them did. You know what I'm saying to you? Like I said about Ramses, threw a man underneath the bus in a private conversation. You're not worth it to be a boy. It's just that simple. Like, you can't trust people like that will throw you underneath the bus about a little bit of pressure. Pressure's for tires, mate. You know what I'm saying to you, as Alan Shearer would say. But we're going to break down an interview because he says a couple of things about the relationship with Hannah as well, and how she treated him, and there's a little bit of kind of, you know, tea that he spills a little bit, nothing crazy, but a little bit of tea that he spills as well. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. Let's get into this video. I don't want to waste much time, and let's see what he's got to say, because he actually talks a little bit about you know, why he liked Hannah and stuff like that as well. So let's have a little listen of what he says here.
What was your motive behind liking those?
So I was actually just talking to Leo about it from the show. We rode the same train here because he lives in New York. Yep. So we were actually talking about it 30 minutes ago. And he's like, dude, I totally see where you're coming from. And, you know, people would leave me really nice comments, you know, paragraph, 2 paragraphs long. And I respect that. It takes a lot of time for you to take that long and leave me a nice note. I want to acknowledge it. And then at the end, it'll be like, but we all know you deserve better. And like, I'll like something like that, you know, says it's a long message, but every single one of the ones that were really nasty, I stayed away from. Yeah. And I never went online and, you know, went out of my way to say something bad about her. I didn't do it on the show. I don't do it in real life. I wouldn't do it now. And you see me on the reunion, I speak up for Hannah. I'm like, guys, like, this isn't cool. Like, even after everything she kind of, you know, we've been through and how she was portrayed, I'm like, we're all human. Like, we got to get past this stuff. It's not cool. We got to cut it out.
So as he lets us know quite clearly, he denies, you know, liking certain tweets about Hannah. He said there was tweets where they were saying certain things, and then in those tweets it was saying how he deserves better, and that's why he liked the tweets, which I totally get. I think that's fair to say. And to be honest, like I said, I think in reality, the situation, you know, I get it. You know, you're on the show, someone does something nasty to you, you don't really respond publicly as much, and then people are sending tweets that are things that probably you wish you could say. That's something that maybe he needs to work on, right? It's okay to be nice, but you have to get to a point where you're not nice, you're kind, you know, and you're not nice, you're good.
And the whole,
you know what I'm saying to you? Sorry, and that comes with boundaries and knowing your needs and being able to assertively let the other person know this is what you need or what you don't need. That's something that he needs to start working on. When someone's breaking your boundaries and not being kind to you, you've got to be able to pull them up and say, hey, this doesn't work for me. The way you're treating me is not how I treat myself. I have a standard of the way I want to be treated. And so that's something he needs to work on. Let's go to point number 2.
Reason I'm like, not stepping on eggshells, but I'm like, hey, I want this to go well for you. Right? I want you to tell me exactly what you want to do. So it's like, I did look in the pasta, and some pasta can be kept in the fridge. But, you know, I know how to boil pasta. I was just like, look, you tell me what to do, how high to put the water, what temperature you want. I want it to go well. But it kind of, it's misconstrued. You know what I mean?
So what do you think the biggest misconception about you is?
I mean, a couple things right off the bat: respect, maturity, socially aware, financially literate. I'm in real estate. I have to be financially literate to do my job at a high level. So I was living at home. I didn't have money. I was a bum. No, I was actually stacking my money to the ceiling. And then I have my own place now in a really nice spot. And now I'm secure. So it's like, you know, a lot gets lost in context, but you know, I'm not here to kind of rebuttal back. You know?
How old were you when you...
Now, this is very, very interesting because I was just saying to El Cid, actually, if you don't know, on our channel, we have super panels, and one of our panelists is El Cid, and she mentioned about this, about him being financially astute, because remember, Hannah actually called him out for being, do you know finances, Nick? You know, do you know about a 401k, Nick? Like, she was ragging him out, and El Cid actually made a point about him being in real estate. He has to be financially astute. He hasn't got a choice. He needs to know his numbers, right? So in that situation, and this is why I also mentioned about, if the fact is, when you're so afraid, and this is where he has to work on as well, when you're so afraid of that person's reaction, actually, that's why I said it was abusive, what she was doing. Because it was a woman, we would be able to understand, because we see them as being naturally weaker in comparison to a man and being physically dominant. What she was doing was that she was nitpicking so much, he became afraid. And when you're in the place of being fearful, you start behaving in particular odd ways, right? Things that you should know, you stop you struggle to know, right? Now, of course, listen, the boil in the water situation, the pastor, and I said this on my review, he was trying to make sure he never got anything wrong. That's when I knew it was a sign of abuse. I was like, he was walking on eggshells, making sure that he did nothing wrong because he didn't want her to nitpick again something else. So he's asking her every single question. Now, I think he's been a bit facetious with the boil in the water, situation, as well. But yes, there's an aspect of that kind of like where you're so fearful, basic things that you should know how to do, you start not knowing how to do because you're afraid of the repercussions, right? So, I knew I felt like he would be financially astute. I already knew that. I think that was just, again, a great point that he made about that, because I think it was important to bring that up as well. Now, he addresses obviously being famous as well in his interview here, so we're going to play with a clip and we'll get to that as well.
Hurting, she would probably kind of tap into that a little bit more.
Sure, that makes sense. You made the infamous "I want to be the most famous person from Love is Blind" in your notebook. Hannah definitely called you out for that too. I don't judge you for putting that down at all, but I want you to own it.
Yeah, there's a couple things, and I do own it. I say on the reunion, I'm like, yeah, I did write it. There's a couple things. One, you just mentioned it. Like, if you did a test, like the lie detector test with everyone on there, and they didn't want to get famous off of it, cool. Like, you're lying, right? Everyone does. Second thing is, famous to me in that sense look like, hey, I don't want to be on it for clout and just get a lot of followers. I want to find someone on that journey. I want people to like us as a couple, right? And thrive that way. The third thing is, I wrote that 4 months before I even knew I was on the show. Right. So like, I was taking it super light. I was messing around.
But that's an okay thought to have.
Right. Exactly. And the fourth thing is invasion of privacy. Why are you going through my damn notebook? Like, that's not cool. I don't want a partner that's going to pick up my phone and type in my password and go through it. That's not who I am. If that is who you are and your friends, that's okay. But the fact, and I had this conversation with Hannah multiple times. She knows exactly the context behind it. She aired it out because, she's great. She's a fantastic person, right? I'm not trying to throw shade at her. She felt like maybe she got a bad edit, or she needed to save face, or she wanted to get at me even more. Right. There was no point in bringing that up because that was before I even met you.
We have to.
And that's a really good point, right? The whole point of that note is also, it was before her. And number two, it was evasion of privacy. Like, when I see people defending Hannah, I'm like, cool, I get it. But let's call out all the things that she'd done. She spoke about sex when she shouldn't have, about their sexual bedroom life. She spoke about him not being financially astute, called him certain names. Now also as well, invaded his privacy, right? I don't like calling anybody a narcissist. I'm not going to call her a narcissist, but she definitely was abusive. And so we can't belittle her behavior and call it, well, she was telling the truth. Nah. This woman was being abusive. She was invading privacy, was breaking the trust of the relationship as well, speaking about certain issues in public. She didn't need to do it. But because she had in her mind that she was superior and she was better, that is why she did what she did. But it was born out of an insecurity. That's something that she needs to work on. Right? Something that she needs to get with. Otherwise, it's going to eat her up in next relationships. No matter how good she looks in person now, it's all about the mind and the heart. And if your mind and your heart is not in alignment, it's not in a good place, you're going to find yourself with toxic people in relationships, or you are the toxic one. Right? So that is a big thing there as well. Okay. Let me put another part as well. Because he actually said he wanted to be friends as well. But
honestly, a day in that experiment is like a week in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had never lived with someone before. I was learning so much every day, right? So, you know, we broke up with, I think, a week left. I wouldn't have taken it up to the wedding, but I needed those moments just for more clarity. I wanted it to work. I mean, there were moments each episode where I was like taken back by the things she was saying, but I also knew so much good about her, right? And there's a time where, you know, we were having fun in the pods, and there's a time at the Halloween party, like, I haven't been having fun. And I'm like, I have.
Yeah.
And that should show you I'm being myself. And I'm getting to know you. It's like, why are you shutting down a little bit? Like, why are you walking on eggshells? And so there wasn't a moment that I'm like, it's done, because then I would have broken up with her.
Right.
But I would be stupid to say, like, at that point that I thought it was going to work out.
Yeah.
But I was really invested.
Yeah. So you
And I think that's one of the biggest things for Nick as well, that's going to be an issue for Hannah, was that he was being himself. Whenever you be your authentic self, it draws two sets of people. People that want to be authentic as well, and you help them free themselves and be authentic, or people who are actually annoyed that you're being authentic because they feel like they have to be inauthentic in order to fit in. And so when you're being your authentic, true, genuine self, it actually angers certain people because they know that they're not being authentic. They're not being real with themselves. They're not being real with others. They feel like they can't be real. So the fact that they can't be real, why are you allowed to be real? Why are you allowed to be authentic? Why are you allowed to show up as you are? Why can you just turn up and be whoever you want to be? Yet I have to conform and fit in order to receive the plaudits or the people to like me. And it becomes a resentment. And in reality, it's really more about the fact that how you feel about you, and you not accepting that if they don't want to accept you, you don't have to be around them. You don't. Right? I'm going to finish the last point because he talks about Hannah and Marissa's situation.
Oh, that must be nice. Yeah. And are you close to your parents still?
15 minutes.
Nice.
So they still hit me up on Sunday, want to come over for dinner. I'm
Sunday
like,
night
hell
dinners
yeah.
with the fam.
Yeah.
So Katie works for the Ravens and is getting all you tickets on Sunday. Is Hannah going to be there?
I don't think so.
Oh, because are Katie and Hannah still friends?
I don't think so.
Were they the best friends?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was on Good Morning America on ABC7 this morning.
Okay.
And, you know, they asked Marissa a question about me. And, you know, Marissa and I have had talks off camera since the reunion.
Yeah.
You know, and we're
because Marissa
good.
and Hannah are close. Or we're close.
We're.
What is happening? I need to talk to everybody from the show. What's going on?
It's not, like, just hearing that is like, damn, well, like, not that you can't make it work with anyone, but it's like, you know, clearly you say the same things to me that you tell other people. And we all know she's beautiful and intelligent, got a lot to give, but like, there's a reason why the closest people to you are kind of thinking of you in that light.
I wonder what is going on in her, like, heart. Like, I feel like something's blocking her.
You know? Yeah. I try not to think of what it is because that's not me, but
I mean, that's
probably
for her to think of and for her to work on.
But they used to be besties.
Wow.
Katie and Hannah.
Yeah.
No.
But now you are, and you get to go to games.
Yeah.
Fun. Who else is going to be there on Sunday?
It'll be Alex.
Yeah.
So as we found out that Hannah and Kate are no longer best friends, we knew that already. I mean, listen, if you looked at a reunion, how can Hannah treat Kate badly for a whole year and think they're going to be friends after? Then we saw Hannah and Marissa on a live with Storytime Ricky, and then we also saw the fact that with Marissa and Hannah, Marissa with Kate on the live, she spoke about how Hannah needs some work that she needs to do. We saw in the reunion how Marissa said that, you know, Hannah's been even mean to her, and we saw her be mean to Kate too. So reality is Hannah's got the biggest problem here. Her self-indulgency and non-reflectiveness is costing her friendships even with the ladies. So why was Marissa spending time defending her? Because Marissa had the wrong discernment. Okay, all right, had the wrong discernment, and a lot of them are frustrated with the fact that he's got a great edit. That's what it is. They're frustrated that he's got a good edit, and he hasn't had to sacrifice anything to be that space. He's just been himself. Right? It gets like that. It's like, oh, if we're looking bad, you must look bad. No. You're on your own. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification on uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again soon for another video.